What's good with y'all? Man, it's cold than a bitch in my room. Excuse me for my language. But what's good with y'all, ladies and gentlemen? We back with another video. The message behind today's video is mouthpiece, so we're going to be watching a video from Taekwondo himself. You feel me? This is not the only time I brung Taekwondo on his channel to talk about game or just pretty much anything. And this is basically for the youngins, the OGs, the people with experience. For ladies, this is how you build your mouthpiece. You feel me? And I will explain to y'all at the end of the video on my input on Taekwondo's advice, especially how I develop my own mouthpiece and the way how my shit even works eventually. So without further ado, let's go get straight into it. Y'all, I'll catch y'all like.
Yeah, welcome to the dojo, baby, man. Have no fear, Taekwondo is here, man. Listen, if you struggle with your mouthpiece, you struggle with finding out what to say to women, I don't know how to be smooth, I don't know how to make her think about me, I don't know how to impact her, I don't know how to make her smile, make her blush. I just struggle with figuring out what to say to women. My mouthpiece is just not sharp. I don't have game, I just don't got it. If you one of those dudes that think this shit is just natural, you born with it, you have it or you don't, have no fear, Taekwondo is here and we in the dojo, baby. Now, my goal with this video, I'm going to be honest. Y'all seen the clips and how this opened and it started. My goal in this video is this going to be everything in a man's mouthpiece. Talking to women 101. This is going to be a very practical, simplified, direct version of how to get your mouthpiece. How to start, playing and being sharp and quick-witted in these moments that matter most in the everyday conversation and random situations, right? Now, listen. First, we got to define what a mouthpiece is. If you're going to be listening and watching this video and improving something, and you don't even know what you're improving, how the hell are you going to improve it? You get what I'm saying? Part of the mouthpiece that's so important and relevant when it comes to a man's mouthpiece is every word you choose builds on top of the last sentence you made, or it at least paints a picture in some kind of way. Now, it also requires a level of audacity. It also requires a level of assertiveness, being bold. Because a lot of times, what you want to say is right in front of you. What you want to say is really a direct way to say it. But are you bold enough to stand on what it is that you want to say? Hence some of these clips. Now, y'all might hear my neighbor playing that music in the background, but this is the reason I don't get noise complaints, because we both be loud. It's also a very good trademark of a mouthpiece if you are good at positioning and setting yourself up throughout your conversations. Meaning you can go into a conversation with a goal in mind. I want to sell this car. I want to give her my number. I want to get this job throughout this interview. I already have my goal in mind. It's already clear up here. Now, I'm not strict on how I go about getting it. Now, you could look at this shit like I got tools in my belt like Batman, right? Batman might have a grappling hook, a smoke grenade, a smoke bomb, and a fucking Glock 19. Batman is not going to climb the building with a Glock 19. He's going to use the grappling hook. And he's not going to disappear with the grappling hook. He's going to do it with the smoke bomb. So a lot of times you got to look at each of these situations. It provides a unique opportunity to say different things. A lot of y'all just want the out-of-the-box, black and white blueprint. Okay, so I should just introduce myself. Good eye contact, shake her hand, nice to meet you. No. Because as y'all see in some of these clips, like this one.
Tell him I said hi, man.
Cute boy at Walmart said hi. How old are you?
A girl on the phone, and he walks up to her and says, tell him I said hi. That's the only opportunity he had in this unique situation to say something like that. He might have said, who we on the phone with, friend? He might have said, tell my friend I said hi, or something, whatever he says that is unique to this situation that he's bold enough to say. If you really think about it, when somebody tell you that's rude, that's disrespectful, somebody having a conversation, who are you to interrupt? How dare you be so rude? Guess what? The mouthpiece makes its own rules. It knows how to thread the needle. It knows how to insert and be assertive in a way which is charming, which is charismatic, which is smooth. And the reason the mouthpiece can do that is because it's creative, it's open-minded, it's broad. It doesn't see one way. It sees any way to go about getting what it wants. A huge part that a lot of y'all gotta keep in mind with y'all mouthpiece is every time you open your mouth, every action you do, even your nonverbal communication, even your body language, your eye contact, all of this. Everything you do, say, or think about is presenting the challenge, or you failed the test when you didn't stand your ground and double down boldly on what it is you want or why you were talking to his daughter. And you could have added a respectful twist in that, something along the lines of, oh, excuse me, I didn't want to be rude, but your daughter caught my attention. My name is Todd, and I wanted to introduce myself, if that's okay with you. Now, he might even challenge you more. What do you want from my daughter? Blah, blah, blah. And at that point, you're using the situation to say, excuse me, I want to be respectful, and you're using what's in front of you to cook up what you say. You wouldn't just say some random shit here because it has nothing to do with the situation. You can't connect a dot that has no connection. That's what the mouthpiece is really good at doing. Like I said, I can even use situations out of approaching a woman. I could be a car salesman, and I find out my client has a family, so now I connect that dot to say, oh, we have the perfect family size sedan at a great price, a newer one, and older models if you're not looking for something brand new for the kids not to ruin. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I might even throw all this in my wording because every word I'm saying, every sentence I'm saying is painting the picture and getting me closer to what I want. Now, listen, I wanted to use this other video right here to show you how simple and direct the mouthpiece can be.
Look at that. You been ready for a Toronto girl, huh? Tell me something. What's up?
Listen, a Toronto female will change your life.
You see how this, shout out to Miami the Kid. You see how this one sentence, you said Smooth can't handle a Toronto girl or something along those lines. It made her now challenge him and say, oh, a Toronto girl would change your life. Like, that one sentence set the whole alley-oop up. Why? Because he had in mind, like, oh, I'm trying to set my homie up with the, with the shorty or whatever. And all it took was that one sentence. Because it's how he threaded the needle. It's how he took advantage of the situation and the opportunity that it was presented. He couldn't have scripted that. He couldn't have planned that. I mean, in the moment, it may seem like it was planned or like he just knew what to say. No, he didn't. He came up with it on the spot. That's the thing about the mouthpiece. It's quick. It's lightweight. It can move. It can shift. It can adapt. It's not stuck and it's not rigid. It's not stiff. You have to be loose in order to be smooth. That's a big part of the mouthpiece. A lot of y'all get stuck in your head. Y'all freeze. Y'all hesitate. You're already slowing yourself down. You're already killing all your momentum. You have to just be going and flowing. Now, I'm going to give y'all 3 practical steps that I think can make this clear to anybody before we go deeper, before we use other examples, before I make more videos, and before you even tap into the Patreon. Because as my members know, Patreon is a whole different ballpark. YouTube, we keep this entertaining. We keep it light tone. We add a bunch of different shit on the YouTube. Patreon is strictly business. The VIP section of the dojo, baby. And if you step over there, you better be ready to get your top blown off. But I'm going to give these 3 practical steps because I want everybody to leave and say, all right, so what can I do? How can I improve my mouthpiece? What's the next steps? Step number 1. Start being more aware of your goal or your purpose when you talk or before you do something. Because not only will this help you stay on track, and what I mean by on track is a lot of y'all have random ass conversations. Oh, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite season? What's your favorite movie? And y'all not even connecting the dots from this. What's your favorite movie? Oh, what's your favorite genre of movies? Oh, I like scary movies. And then, she said something like that. Then I said, okay, well, Insidious just came out. It's this new scary movie I heard is lit. We should go see it this Saturday. All I did was connect the dot based on what she just said because a new opportunity was presented. Me knowing I want to spend time with her, that's the goal. Spend time with her, go on a date, or get to know her or make a connection. And I just did all of that at once because of the opportunity which presented itself because I have my goal in mind when I'm talking. And if you're not keeping yourself on track, that's how y'all oftentimes get into these boring ass conversations. Y'all waste words. Y'all say sentences that mean nothing. I mean, if we transcripted y'all conversations between you and a person who has a tough ass mouthpiece, we'll be able to look back and see how In many instances during their conversation, they always their next sentence correlated with their last one. They build on top of each other. They all lead somewhere. You know, you're not talking to somebody with a mouthpiece and asking yourself, "Well, where is this going? What's up? Like, why am I here? Why are we talking?" A person won't say that. They'll feel the tension through the conversation. They'll feel the flirtiness. They'll feel the elusiveness, the intrigue. They'll feel all the allure from the conversation because the way the person purposefully.
Hey everyone, we're Crew. And guess what? Google Play Games is the official PC platform for Cookie Run Tower of Adventures. There is so much you can do.
You can choose your gaming mode.
Dances towards what they want. See, you get to move with some grace. You get to move with some poise. You get to move with some nimbleness because you can take your time. You know what you want. You're not moving. You're not reacting. You're being decisive. You're deciding what you want to go next. You're asserting. You're leading. Now, number 2, you got to ask yourself, what? Number two, you got to ask yourself, what's the most direct way to get what I want? And the reason I say this is because you will never get a mouthpiece beating around the bush, walking on eggshells, ducking smoke, avoiding challenges, running from the elephant in the room. All of this shit is the killer of the mouthpiece because you can't apply pressure when you're avoiding pressure. How am I going to fucking fold under pressure or duck smoke when I'm the pressure? You don't. So already, this leads into number 3. Start creating a habit of being assertive. People think assertiveness is, oh, I'm alpha male, I'm diagnosed and blah, 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 blah. All that shit is a habit. You either have a habit of ducking smoke, dodging, avoiding, or running from fight or flight, fight or flight situation. You create these habits or you break them. So you need to create a habit of being assertive, a habit of speaking your mind, a habit of being concise with your words, a habit of being able to call out the elephant in the room, being able to be bold, being able to be very keen and observant of opportunities that pop up during your conversation. And either you do that or you're creating these habits by paying attention. Or every time you duck smoke, every time you run from that woman you know you wanted to talk to, every time you bite your tongue when you know you wanted to say something, you now create a habit which is killing your mouthpiece. So listen, appreciate y'all. 330K pack on the way. Dojo to the moon, 400K, we on that ass, you dig? Dojo to the moon to Saturn, and we live in the solar system. The limits won't even know we exist, baby.
Alright, so let's talk on what Taekwondo pretty much said. I'm going to add on, but I don't need 12 minutes. I promise you, I just need probably 5. 5 really. So let's get straight into it. Taekwondo mentioned a lot of key points, and one of the key points I do want y'all to understand is putting yourself out there. The reason why I'm saying this is because the only way you could truly become or have a better mouthpiece than you already have is by having a lot of conversations and relations with a lot of people. You will not get a mouthpiece by just sitting there watching YouTube videos. It's not going to happen. You may steal a couple moves, but that doesn't mean you're going to be good on the cup. You ain't gonna be good on the court. You're not going to be good on the field. You feel me? The best way you could actually get a lot of experience, a lot of skills, is by actually talking to people, gang. And I got my XP points at AMC. I ain't gonna lie. I was a greeter, and the greeter is essentially the person that checks your tickets in. So basically, I will be able to see whoever walks in first before the cashier even gets to ring you up and do all that shit. I'm the nigga that you see first. And that's a bad combo because I was quick with it. So let me give you an example. Mind you this, I was never good at conversations before though. So I used to be the nigga that beat around the bush too. So if you thinking like, oh, I was just a smooth criminal like years and years and years and I've been doing this shit. No, bitch, I've been doing this shit since probably like 1 to 2 years now. My XP points is crazy now. But basically, right? Females there used to be a movie called Barbie. Now, Barbie was extremely popular around this time. I'm talking about women will come up here weeks after weeks watching a movie 2 to 3 times, right? And with me acknowledging that Barbie is such a feminine, popular movie, why would I use that to my advantage to talk to a lot of variety of women and also give them a chance to always want to keep talking to me? How did I develop a plan? So my plan was to create a conversation around the movie Barbie. But since I'm not the nigga that is the always pro Barbie, I actually went con Barbie. I didn't like Barbie. So what I did was, when a woman would run up to me with a ticket about Barbie, they would be like, oh yeah, I'm finna go watch Barbie, right? I will look at the ticket, just look at it. I look at her, I'll be like, oh, you watching Barbie, huh? This movie trash. Oh, that stoked they fired. That's all you needed. You just needed something, and that movie was it. They used to be like, nah, I heard Barbie was good. Because, females will always try to prove you right. Remember that. You see how I knew that too? If the movie was so good, right? And this is what I said. I said, if the movie is that good, why won't you just come back and tell me and let me change my opinion about the movie? Now, I'm not the thirsty nigga because I didn't want to come off as thirsty. Oh, come back and tell me. No, I just said come back and tell me and let me change and let you change my opinion. So now when they come back, they just don't come back and say, oh, I like Barbie, it was good. No, they explain why Barbie was good because I wanted them to explain why. You see, the small moves I was doing, they were so effective that it was a bunch of them coming back to me like left and right. It was so crazy because I was using the same move in front of the next bitch. My bad. But I was using the same moves in front of every girl. And it was crazy because it was a girl behind them. And I was doing the same exact shit. They'll come back and literally in bunches just to tell me the same thing I told the next shorty to tell me. And what's so crazy is it would be some women agreeing with what I was saying, like Barbie was trash, right? They would come back and they'd be like, yeah, that movie was trash. I don't fuck with it. And then we have another thing. We have a common interest and we'd be like, yeah, bro, this. I feel like you should watch this instead of watching Barbie. So then she would come back and watch the next movie I suggested her. You see how smart Braylon, or you see how strategic I could get in certain moments? So I want y'all to understand, bro. I got my XP up here. And I wasn't even that greedy sometimes. Sometimes people would come up to the movies just to look for me. They didn't give a fuck about the movie like that. They would watch it. But then they'd be like, oh yeah, I know there's that dreadhead dude because I was the only dude with dreads. So they would come look for me. And they'd be like, oh, he's still working up here. I want to talk to him. He was a cool guy. I would get good customer service every single time, bro. Like, it was so crazy. But I used to fool around so much in that job. And yeah, man, I ain't gonna lie, I left that bit because it was a situation and I was not going for it. But essentially, building your mouthpiece is by really becoming a very, very good listener. Person that pay attention to the situation. A person that can use what is around them to make something happen. In order for you to have a mouthpiece in general, my nigga, you need to be able to become a very good conversation holder, also a conversation starter, because this not only builds interest in the woman, she wants to talk to you every single time because she feels like I always have a good conversation with this guy. I want to keep talking to him. So this builds an interest, a liking, and not only that, y'all could both talk about a lot of shit. Or you could plan something. Hey, this movie was out since y'all was already watching movies at AMC. You want to go watch it with me? Boom. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason why you can become a good conversation starter or anything else like that, you have to pay attention to the small context clues and details from what is given to you in that particular situation to even start the shit from where it needs to go. I don't need 12 minutes. It's 7 minutes as I'm looking at the thing right now. I hope y'all understand what I pretty much said. To have a mouthpiece, you have to have conversations. You need to have a minimum of a lot of conversations so you can build a lot of XP to give your mouthpiece a lot of techniques. You need to. You don't do the same moves on every shorty, bro, because they're not always going for it. You can't say, oh, you look good so many times, because women want to hear different shit, gang. Women want to hear, oh, you look beautiful. Oh, you look good. Females do not like hearing you look bad as hell, bro. That shit is old. You can't walk up to hoes and be like, oh, you bad as hell. Oh, you look beautiful today. How you doing? Or, hey, how you doing? You look very beautiful today. I like your dress and I like your hair. You know what I'm saying? You can't really say, oh, you look bad as hell. I like your dress and shit. She gonna be like, the fuck? Some females like that shit. You know? But not all of them is going. Especially the way how our generation is nowadays. You can't always walk up to the female and say, oh, you look good. She probably heard that so many times. You come with a different entry, you gonna get a different surprise. So without further ado, it's